place the left ear down to the radio, and we'll get the speeds read off here for our fans along the shoreline of the Detroit River for the Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers APBA Gold Cup. Also, too, for our fans watching online via Facebook and YouTube through H1 Unlimited, this qualifying session will last until 7 p.m. It is a 2.72-mile course here in Detroit, and Brad Luce in the past, APBA Gold Cup qualifying rules. You can take up to 3 laps on the clock, and then they'll take your best speeds of either laps 1 and 2 or laps 2 and 3 and average them out for your qualifying time for the 2018 APBA Gold Cup.
Yes, and I did have a conversation with our chief referee, Doug Shelton, about that. Just to confirm, that is exactly how it will work. So the boats will come out on the race course. They do not have to cut the course on the Grand Prix course. They can if they want, or they can go all the way down to the Belle Isle Bridge turn and come around. Then when they come back across start line the next time, they will get a green flag, and they will get a green, then a white flag, meaning 1 more to go, and then a checkered flag. And you're exactly right. They will take the fastest two consecutive lap average, so it'll either be lap 1 and 2 or laps 2 and 3. You hit the nail on the head. Nothing's changed, and we're about ready to go here, Jeff.
And Brad, I wanted to give a very special shout out and a welcome here at the judges stand. Brad, we have the senior member of the Rowdies here today. 91 years of age.
Wow.
Herb Buller. Welcome to the APBA Gold Cup. Brad, he has seen 85 years of racing here in Detroit and remembers Garwood and seeing Garwood racing here on the Detroit River. Herb Buller, the senior rowdy, welcome to the Gold Cup.
That's pretty exciting, Jeff. Wow. I was trying to find somebody here this morning that was here in '82 when Chenoweth and Hanauer made that great run down the backstretch. I didn't know you were going to go back to Garwood. Holy cow. Welcome, sir, indeed. That is pretty special.
And he looks great. He was so excited. He got up off his seat and gave me a salute through the window.
Wow.
Thank you, Herb.
You bet, Herb. That is something special.
Looking forward to qualifying here, Brad, and it is important. It goes to your point tally for the weekend. We've got the 6 here. We're going to get it down to 5. The fastest this weekend at 4:40 Sunday for the winner-take-all APBA Gold Cup.
Yeah, you're right, and it is. It's very important, and they not only count toward your race total points for the weekend and making it into the final, but they also count toward your national high points, and that comes into play from time to time. So there are points, they do matter. If you are the top qualifier here today, you will walk out of here with 100 points in your pocket. If you're the second fastest qualifier, you will get 80 points. Third gets 70 and 60 and 50 and on down from there. So you can at least leave this evening with a 20-point advantage on all the other competition if you are the top qualifier. So it's worth fighting for, Jeff.
And as Brad mentioned, you said the U7 Spirit of Detroit, Tri-Island Energy, Detroit Machinery Center in the water. Remember you saying the U3, the Rooster Tail, 60 years of parties was hanging over the water as Ed Cooper elected to go on into the drink with the turbocharged Allison Racer.
Not yet. It's still hanging over the water. Dustin Echols is aboard the 440, and Bert Henderson is aboard the 7. So both drivers are aboard. I think the way this is maybe, well, I don't know, because technically I'm told the 3, the Rooster Tail, the piston-powered boat, should be the second one on the ladder, and Kelly Stockland's 440 would be third, but the 440's in the water, the 3 is not. Bert is in the water, and I can't see from here, Jeff. Maybe I can, but my color blindness gets me here. You got a green flag hanging out there? It is? That's green flag.
Yeah,
Okay,
green
so-
flag up there, race fan.
So we're ready.
Are you ready?
I think
He's ready. This fan below, he's ready. He wants them in the water. He wants these things lit up.
make it happen. So just waiting for the first lid to go down.
And the order should be they go national high points, lowest to highest. Jeffrey White, good afternoon. Welcome to the APBA Gold Cup. You are the man. When is the match race ever happening with Mark Weber?
As soon as I beat Lexi.
As soon as he beats Lexi, Jeffrey White's laying it down up here, Brad, talking smack before qualifying.
I like it. I like it a lot.
And getting back, the order should go 7, 3, 440, 11, 1, and 9. And then they'll go through that ladder once again, and Brad with the 6 votes. Plenty of opportunity here in this 2-hour window to get qualified for the Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers APBA Gold Cup.
And it appears, Jeff, we are going to follow the order, at least for the first boat, the 7. The lid goes down first on Mr. Henderson. Let's see if he encounters the same problem they had earlier. That was getting it up on a plane and keeping the water out of that turbine engine. He is away from the dock now. You can probably hear him in the microphone as it spools up. You're going to see him if you look to your left, Jeff, in just a moment. He'll come around that big white buoy on the point. We'll see if Bert can get it up on a plane first time, and it appears as though cars are whistle, not a problem. We've got our first boat out on the water. Grandstand, give it up. It's Bert Henderson. Local race team, Jeff, you've got him right in front of you.
Qualifying begins for the 2018 Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers APBA Gold Cup. First boat out, the dominant red with the blue stripe down the sides this year. It's the number 7, Spirit of Detroit, Tri-Island Energy, Detroit Machinery Center. The driver is Bert Henderson out of Brockville, Ontario, Canada. 46 years of age. Bert married to his wife, Jennifer. Their daughter, Caitlin, at 16 years of age. And Brad, earlier this year, Bert's son, Owen, at 14, got a crack in the 1.5-liter stock class in Cambridge, Maryland. So Owen Henderson could be a name to look out for in the future when we talk inboard hydroplane racing in the APBA and the HRL. The owner, Dave Bartish, from right here in Detroit. Crew chief Bill Guckian as well, out of Detroit. Brad, it's great to see him go through the big left-hand sweeper the first time. The Belle Isle Bridge turn, bringing to the rooster tail.
Well, thank you, Jeff Ayler. It is good, as you said, to finally run a boat down to the bottom end of the race course here, down in front of that Belle Isle Bridge down there. And folks, if you haven't heard Jeff say that before, he'll say it 100 times before the weekend's over. He loves to refer to that big corner down there as that big left-hand sweeper. And if that's the big left-hand sweeper, this is the alter ego of it, because here's the tightest turn on the H1 Unlimited circuit. Bert sets it up. He's going to come off here about in lane 3 or 4, maybe out to 5. Coming down to you, Jeff. Put on the clock. Let's start this qualifying session.
All right, race fans, green flag is out. Bert Henderson on the clock. Spirit of Detroit, Tri-Island Energy, Detroit Machinery Center. First boat out on the water here in qualifying. Henderson, a 5-time winner in Grand Prix in Valleyfield. And Brady had a dominant season last year in the HRL series. 5 out of 8 wins in Grand Prix for Bert Henderson as he works into turn number 1 at the apex of the Belle Isle Bridge turn. Henderson debuted right here last year in Detroit in the President's Cup and the Gold Cup. In this U7 Spirit of Detroit, Brady looks good coming down the first time.
Yeah, it's the first time he's had the boat out since a year ago when they had that crash here at the start of the final heat of the Gold Cup. And so I'm not expecting him to come out here and run this thing real hard, but he's got the boat up plainly beautifully. A good boat ride up the backstretch as he goes in front of the historic Detroit Yacht Club. Now he's got to set it up, make sure the boat is on the water for the rooster tail. Not going to stay too terribly tight on the barrel here. Maybe about lane number 3, Jeff. But he's off the corner. Come down. Let's get a speed on lap number 1.
Lap 1 complete. We'll get a time. Lap number 1 for Bert Henderson, Spirit of Detroit, Tri-Island Energy, Detroit Machinery Center, 136.542 miles per hour, 136.542 for Bert Henderson, the first of 3 times around. In the dominant red, U7 works through that big left-hand sweeper. The tail picks up. Brad, can he go above 136?
He's gonna. Before we're done here, don't be surprised if you see a 140. We know what that boat is capable of doing. As I said, the last time that boat was on this race course and ran, they had that accident right here at the exit pin of this rooster tail turn. So this is a good test session for them as well, but it happens to come during the qualifying. And Bert's got it into the upper corner here at the rooster tail, about the same line, maybe lane 3, maybe 3.5. Let's see if he can improve on 136.
White flag displayed. We're going to time. Lap 2 complete. Lap number 2 for Bert Henderson. It's quicker. 138.106 miles per hour. 138.106. Cloud cover here during qualifying for H1 Unlimited. As we'll go to 7 o'clock. Bert Henderson, lap 1, 136, lap 2, 138. As he works through turn number 1, beautiful sight with that American flag in the background off turn number 1. Brad, a half a lap away. Can he get to 140?
I think he's gonna. Watch this. We're gonna watch his line through the upper corner here. He's been staying out lane 3.5, maybe even lane 4. If he tightens it up a little bit, he'll sniff that 140 if he can keep enough speed going. Bert sets it up right in front of the Yacht Club. Now, what's his line through this corner? About the same this time through, but he looks a little quicker this time. I'm thinking the 140, Jeff. Bring him home.
Henderson, checkered flag is waving. We'll get a time here on lap number 3. It is faster, a touch under 140, 139.146 miles per hour, 139.146 for Bert Henderson, Spirit of Detroit, Tri-Island Energy, Detroit Machinery Center. Brad, they'll average out laps 2 and 3 of the 138.106 and 139.146, but plenty of time left until 7 o'clock. I expect this boat back out later.
I think they'll come out again too, but I think they're looking at this more as a test session really than anything else. That is really an impressive run. Again, it's the first time this boat has run in a year, and to come out there and first time on the big course, because you remember when they tested, they had to run on the GP course because of an issue down at the other end. So first time back out on the course, a 136, a 138, a 139. Clearly there's a lot more in that boat. I think they have to be really pleased.
And especially after what happened earlier this afternoon when they were having trouble getting the boat up on plane. Bert tried and tried about a dozen times and then finally cracked it up above the water. And of course then, Brad, they were running the short course due to some unfortunate activity down in the Belle Isle Bridge turn, as we only had 2 boats test earlier today, this craft and the U1, Miss Home Street Bank. So you bring up a great point, my friend. Maybe some teams right here on round 1 might be a little testing activity, pick up the wick a little bit second time out.
Absolutely. Now, I wouldn't expect that out of our U9 and U1 and maybe the U11 guys, but I think there'll be some, make sure we get it qualified, make sure we get in the show, but let's also use this as a learning opportunity here on this Detroit River race course. So Bert is back to the pit area here in the 7, and I think we're going to get I think we're going to come in order. I think we're going to get the 3 next. They are in the water. Jimmy Keeg is aboard ship. and they've got a couple of crew members leaning over the cockpit there. The lid is still up on Dustin Echols, and it doesn't seem like they're doing any preparations there. I think they're going to sit and just wait for Jimmy King to come out in the 3. They are next on the schedule.
So qualifying has begun for the 2018 Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers APBA Gold Cup. Bert Henderson just put 3 laps on the clock at 136.5, 138.1, and 139.1. This qualifying session for our fans just arriving here to the shores of the Detroit River will last until 7 o'clock here on Free Friday. Once again, Brad, here in Detroit. Fans love Free Friday here at the Motor City for Hydroplane Racing.
They do indeed, and on Free Friday they can come down here about 5:15 and see piston power out on the Detroit River. Here comes the U3, the Rooster Tail, Jimmy King. He is away from the dock. That big World War II turbocharged Allison coughs and belches up to life, and you've got a visual on him now, Jeff Ayler.
Here it is, the U3, the Rooster Tail. 60 years of parties. It's the fullback of the turbocharged Allison engine. Of course, the Allison aircraft engine, prominent in WW2. Mr. Luce, this one cranks out over 3,000 horsepower, and it's one to watch here this weekend. Jimmy King, local favorite out of Wales, Michigan, the driver. 57 years young, married to his wife Tammy. Jimmy has 3 children, Bobby, Kiara, and Jeffrey. The boat owner, Ed Cooper, out of Evansville, Indiana. Cooper, of course, won the 03 Gold Cup here in Detroit with his driver, Mitch Evans. The 3 camp would like to thank the sponsor, the Rooster Tail. Big thank you goes out to Diane and Tom Shaniff. You can learn more about the Rooster Tail online at www.roostertail.com. And Brad, the Rooster Tail, that's where you go for your proms, weddings, corporate events, anniversaries, parties. It all happens at the Rooster Tail.
Jeff Ayler, that's the second time you've said that, so this time I'm going to come with the response. You know, Jeff, in all those years, I've still never stuck my nose inside that Rooster Tail building. One of these days, I got to get in there. But you mentioned the Gold Cup victory for Ed Cooper. And this particular hole with Mitch Evans behind the wheel, Mitch is standing right behind us over here. He is on the radio talking to Jimmy King as he goes in front of the yacht club. And you better be ready, Jeff Ayler, because you're going to have the boys with the noise. Piston Power going to have a couple of hot laps here coming out of Jimmy King. Rooster Tail,
Off in a split as he comes across the start-finish line, but it cleaned out. And now he slows and he cuts through the Grand Prix course, so maybe a problem here with that turbocharged Allison. Brad, keep your eye on him. Bring him to the turn.
Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on him. I got half a notion he's going to bring it back. Pretty power coming out of the corner here. He said he cleared it out, but I think he may have just pulled his foot. And I think he's going to bring it back, and clearly that's what he's going to do. So next up on our ladder, now I say that, but now he's not coming in. He's going to come down, and maybe did clear it out, Jeff. He's going to come down and give you a look-see.
All right, now this should be the start of, I'm going to go with lap number 2, but no, he likes to cut through the Grand Prix course once again. Maybe the 3 camp is just kind of using this as a testing session right now. And Brad, they did struggle in Tri-Cities with motor gremlins.
Yeah, they sure did. They came with a bunch of hardware to the Tri-Cities of Washington, and they left with a whole lot less. So let's see. He's still coming hard here. He's not coming in yet. Let's see what he's going to do. You know, if he turns, now he's going to turn.
Well, it sure does look good going into turn number 1, that turbocharged Allison Racer. So Maybe they're just using it as a test session. Maybe they're waiting for this wind to subside more, Brad, to maybe get a little bit better water down in turn number 1, the Belle Bridge turn. What did you think of that, race fan? He thinks he's doing what I said, Bud. I have got a fan agreeing with me up here with that Detroit Tiger hat on. You rock. Thank you, sir.
Well, he's coming back in, Jeff, and maybe what we need to do is time his laps on the GP course, but use that 2.72 mile calculator, and he'll have about a 400 mile an hour lap.
Oh, I tell you. You know, Brad, with that internet, flip phones, iPhones, my mom's listening to us back in Madison, Indiana. Ruby Ayler. Hello from Detroit. And Brad, it gives me a chance to wish Mom an early happy birthday coming up Sunday. Mom, happy birthday. I love you. And Brad, her number Sunday will be the number that was campaigned on the former Walther Unlimited hydroplanes. Happy birthday, Mom.
77. There we go. Brad, happy birthday to Rahubi, right? Is that what we're calling her now?
Vicky's give her that name of Rahubi.
Rahubi. There we go. Dustin Echols is away from the dock. While he does his warm-up lap, Jeff, take it for a sec. I'll be right back.
Thank you, Brad. Our fan below here, Kelvin Davis. Thank you for being here this weekend as the Bright Orange comes onto the racetrack. It is the 440 Bucket List Racing. Dustin Echols driving out of Salton, Washington. Dustin married to his wife, Rena. I understand you're having a little trouble. You're not here this weekend. We hope you get to a speedy recovery. And they have a daughter named Finley. They call her Finn, and Finley competed in the J-Stock program at our last Unlimited event out at the Albert Lee Appliance Cup at Seattle for the Seafair. Boat owners are Sharon and Kelly Stocklin out of Clearview, Washington, as Dustin Echols is on his warm-up lap in the 440 Bucket List Racing. So Echols in front of the Detroit Yacht Club. This craft is the experimental. They run the smaller turbine engine, the T53. The other 4 turbine boats here in the field have the T55. This one puts out about 1,400 horsepower as Echols is on the clock in 440 Bucket List Racing. They've had a very consistent season. Echols picked up his first heat win earlier this year at the Indiana Governor's Cup in Madison, Indiana. As he works into turn number 1, Dustin Echols in the 440 Bucket List Racing, campaigned last year here in Detroit. Boat looking good at the apex of turn number 1, the big left-hand sweeper. Exits, tail picks up. We'll see how Dustin Echols does here the first of 3 times around in the bucket list. He's looking good. He walks it from side to side, tiptoes, dances the sponsons, recovered. Nice boat ride halfway up the back straightaway in front of the Yacht Club.
Yeah, I got him up there, Jeff. He is right in front of the Yacht Club. Boat looks real good now, Dustin, young man. Remember this? Oh, yeah, it all comes back to me now in a flash, this rooster tail corner. But he's got it negotiated, and he's already off. Coming down the eject to put one in the books.
Lap number 1 in the books. We'll get a time.
31.684.
Lap number 1 for Dustin Echols in the 440 Bucket List Racing, 134.553 miles per hour. 134.553 for Dustin Echols in the T53 Lycoming turbine engine in the 440 Bucket List Racing. Works his way through turn number 1, exits, tail picks up, Echols halfway through his qualifying run. It looks good for Bucket List Racing.
Looks very good for Dustin Echols and Kelly Stockland and Bucket List Racing in that bright orange hydroplane. Is halfway up the backstretch. Now he doglegs a little bit to the left and goes in front of the historic Detroit Yacht Club. That looks really good. He's got a lot of air under it, Jeff. You were talking about him walking the sponsons. Definitely doing that. He's got a better line through the corner this time. This one's going to be quicker. This one's going to be a little better. I think the 135 being home.
White flag is displayed. Lap 2 in the books with a time. Dustin Echols. All right, Bucket List lap number 2. You're going to like it. 149.175 miles per hour. Picks it up by 5 miles per hour. 139, 175 for the 440. Bucket List Racing. Dustin Echols, the 2016 Rookie of the Year in H1 Unlimited Hydroplane Racing. His final time around on the clock. Mr. Loose, can they get to the 140?
I was waiting for him to say that. I was waiting for him to say he's going to start sniffing the 140 because he's going to get it this time. Here he comes. Dustin Echols. Got a lot of air in with the boat, and that's a good thing as long as you can control it. He had to pull his foot forward just a little bit. Now he's got to settle it down before he gets to the corner. He does about the same line he had through last time. Not sure about this one, Jeff, but he's sniffing 140. Let us know if he gets it.
Checkered flag is waving. Calvin Davis offhand gives the thumbs up for good of time. Lap number 3 for the 440, 135.424 miles per hour, 135.424. So Brad, they'll take 2 and 3 and combine them together for the speed.
That was a good run for those guys to come up just that close to 140. And we know there's more in that boat. We've seen them run on a smaller course. We've seen them run laps in the high 140s. So I think they're happy with that on this course. Again, nobody really got any testing in earlier, so you're kind of guessing at your setup that you're going to go out and run with. And they guessed on that one, but the good news is 3 up, 3 down. They're qualified. They're going to run in our APBA Gold Cup.
Nice run by the Bucket List team. And I'll tell you what, Brad, I'm growing fonder and fonder of this little craft this year, and wouldn't mind seeing 2 or 3 more of these out here like this. I think they've done a great job, and boy, true spirits of the sport right here. And Sharon and Kelly Stockland, Dustin Echols and that team, Taylor Evans, the crew chief, they just love boat racing.
They really do, and they've just put such an effort toward this little hydroplane, and it gets better every single year. To your point, they're sitting much higher in national high points than they've ever been before. They're doing it on consistency, but the boat's running faster and faster each time as well, and it's a testament. You were talking about it earlier. You know, this boat has crashed before. They've had to completely rebuild it. There was talk one time about filling the boat with dirt and calling it a planter at one point. But they put the boat back out on the water, and it just continues to perform. And the other thing, Jeff, that we need to say to Bucket List Racing and Sharon and Kelly and everybody is their commitment to the sport. They have answered every bell on every race course from Guntersville to here. Their participation's been terrific.
It has A1, no doubt, and they're going to San Diego. They're going to complete the season at Mission Bay in the middle of September, and they've been a great addition to the 2018 Tour full-time 440 Bucket List Racing.
Absolutely. Next away from the dock, Reliable Diamond Tool presents J&D's and away from the dock. Tom Thompson out of Cambridge, Maryland. You're going to have a whole lot of color in view here momentarily, Jeff Ayler. Get ready. Here comes your buddy Tom.
Tom Thompson leaves the pit dock, the chartreuse and carnival orange. Beautifully color painted craft. Coming close to the shore. Get ready, Calvin. Get that phone out. Get you a photo. It is the Reliable Diamond Tool presents J&D's. Tom Thompson, the driver, out of Cambridge, Maryland. Tom married to his wife, Chrissy. They have one daughter, Savannah. The craft owners are Shannon and Scott Rainey. Out of Edmonds, Washington, Scott serves as the crew chief. And Brad here this weekend with us, the owner of Reliable Diamond Tool. We welcome Jonathan Thompson to the APBA Gold Cup. And representing J&D's out of Auburn, Washington, we welcome Wes and Bernie Ward here to the Detroit APBA Gold Cup, sponsored by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Brad, this is my dark horse this weekend. Bring him to the turn.
All right, so it is Tom Thompson. You gave the rundown on the racing team. Scott and Shannon Rady, and went through the sponsors. And now it is all up to Mr. Thompson as he will come up past the Yacht Club, set it up through the Rooster Tail turn, and come down and put him on a clock. Boat very solid on the water now. He turns it left. You got to come out way wide and get a big hit of steam. Grandstands, give it up, Tom Thompson, coming down Jeff Hill, put him on the clock.
Thompson off the Rooster Tail turn. Green flag is out. He is on the clock. The 11, Reliable Diamond Tool presents J&D's. Thompson will double up this weekend in the Grand Prix Series in the Reliable Diamond Tool, driving for Randy English and Fat Chance Racing. This will be a busy driver all weekend in the Gold Cup, in the Unlimited and Grand Prix as he works through turn number 1. Nice smooth skid pin water. Exits. Mr. Loose, he's a half a lap in. Could he get the 150?
We're about to find out. They have been here before with this boat on this race course. Don't know if the conditions right now are conducive to that, and they really haven't had the big test session here. But I can tell you he's running very hard, Jeff Ayler, as a late afternoon sun shines off that bright chartreuse and carnival orange. Entrance pin of the Rooster Tail to the apex, much tighter than the last time. It's a good corner for him. You got the speed. Let's hear the first one, Jeff.
Lap 1 complete, 2 to go. We'll get a time for the 11. Lap number 1 for Tom Thompson, 147.899 miles per hour. 147.899 for Tom Thompson. Reliable Diamond Tool presents J&D's. Brad, he looks good once again through the big left-hand sweeper. We're approaching the halfway mark for Tom Thompson in the chartreuse and carnival orange.
Halfway up the backstretch, he's a lap and a half in with a lap and a half to go in this 3-lap qualification effort. Will we see our first 150? I say yes. Before this one's done, Jeff, if he can negotiate the Rooster Tail here good this time, maybe this lap, maybe the next one. Setting it up a little earlier here. Another nice corner through. He's coming out a little bit wider, but he's maintaining some more boat speed. I think he's a little quicker, Jeff.
White flag is displayed. 2 down, 1 to go. We'll get a time. Lap number 2 for Tom Thompson. Reliable Diamond Tool presents J&D's 150.308 miles per hour. 150.308 is Thompson. Already exits turn number 1. We're half a lap away. Can he increase the 150?
He's going to give it a go, and I tell you what, if this is your dark horse, this boat in this late afternoon sun is anything but dark. It really pops out on the water as that sun glistens off that chartreuse and carnival orange and Tom Thompson. Scott and Shannon Rainey's rocket ship here is in front of the historic Yacht Club now. Sets it up for the Rooster Tail. Comes in a little bit wider, tightens it up a little bit. This one looks good, Jeff. Bring it home.
Checkered flag is waving. Thompson completes his qualifying run in the 11. We'll get a time. It's Buster. 152.945 miles per hour. 152.945 for Tom Thompson on this 2.72 mile track on the Detroit River for the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. APBA Gold Cup. Brad, qualifying will last until 7 o'clock. Up next, is the two big ones coming up on paper.
Yeah, both of them are in the water. And the lid is still up on Jimmy Shane. I'm going to step away while they put the lid down on Mr. Shane, and we await the return of Tom Thompson, and I think they got to be pretty happy down there. And the Reliable Diamond Tool presents J&D's.
So they'll be at the 151 barrier. They'll take laps 2 and 3, average those out for their qualifying time, but we'll go through the fleet once again. Round number 2, we've got the water up until 7 o'clock as Thompson gets a horn and a sound from the members of the Detroit Yacht Club. Love that sound in the background when they get the bullhorns out and salute the drivers when they pass in front of a historic Detroit Yacht Club.
Well, Jeff Euler, you were talking there about how Mom, a couple of days after her birthday, is listening to you down there in Madison, Indiana, and we all wish her a very happy birthday. I just checked a note on my phone, and my phone is absolutely blowing up with people back home. They're listening to us, Jeff, so we got a good audience listening to us. And I'm going to tell you this, you're going to like it. I have people listening to us right now from Milan, Italy.
Milan, Italy.
Yep. How about that?
Pizza.
Well, you know, and if they're listening, they're hearing us talk about them. So they're there, they are texting, and they are in Milan.
That is outstanding. It's just so amazing. And that's been a big part of this sport, Brad, since the early 2000s. The internet and the communication, absolutely amazing. Mind-boggling sometimes to think that you got some friends of yours listening to us and maybe watching on the video provided by Jared and Tate Meyer from H1 Unlimited all the way in Milan, Italy. Thank you for being aboard. Brad Luce stepped away for a moment. We're resuming qualifying here at the 2018 Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers APBA Gold Cup. Next draft out, the Home Street Blue and White. You won, Miss Home Street Bank. This is your defending APBA Gold Cup champion, Jimmy Shane, the driver. Mr. Beller, you know, a native of Havre de Grace, Maryland, now residing in Maple Valley, Washington. Jimmy Shane with 17 career wins in the sport, married to his wife Bianca. They have 2 young sons, Colton and Hudson. Jimmy drives hydroplanes on the weekend. Brad Luce, he works at Blue Origin in the Pacific Northwest for Jeff Bezos. We'll see what happens here in this qualifying run.
Good microphone. Sorry, I'm trying to get this thing lit up. I think you got me now, Jeff, but I was with Jimmy Shane last week over in Eastern Washington at Pateras. His radio man is his brother-in-law, Nick Bonancini. And Jimmy Shane was in Pateras last week. He returned the favor. Nick was driving a 2.5-liter stock, and Jimmy was his radio man. But right now, he is on the clock for the 2018 Gold Cup. Start him off, Jeff.
Shane on the clock, this brand new craft debuted in Tri-Cities. They raced it in Seattle. It's labeled as a rocket early on in its career. The craft owners are the citizens of Madison, Indiana. They are represented by Miss Madison Incorporated President Charlie Grooms. Bob Hughes, though, still Brad with Clifty Engineering. Lots to say with Miss Madison Inc. And they have their female crew chief for 2018, Cindy Shirley. 1/2 lap in, Brad, and the blue and white's looking stout.
The blue hydroplane, it is only about a month old, and it's halfway up the backstretch, approaching for the second time. Was run through the Rooster Tail turn for the first time on the clock. This is lap number 1 for Jimmy Shane. Are we going to see our first lap of 160 miles an hour? What a corner through here, Jeff. That's what we talk about this boat. It gets into and out of the corners. The Rooster Tail is no exception.
Lap number 1 complete. We'll get a time. He's flying. It's the quickest so far in qualifying. Lap number 1 for the Home Street Bank, Jimmy Shane, 158.305 miles per hour. 158.305 for the Home Street Blue and White. He works quickly through the big left-hand sweeper in turn number 1. Exits the corner. The tail pops up in the air. Brad, we're halfway through. Can he get the 160? Brad stepped away momentarily as Jimmy Shane flying down the back chute, approaching the Detroit Yacht Club in the brand new Miss Home Street Bank. 158.305 on lap number 1. Corners beautifully in the tightest turn. And limited hydroplane racing the Rooster Tail turn. White flag is out. We're going to time lap 2. It's quicker, 159.921 miles per hour, 159.921 for Jimmy Shane. You won Miss Home Street Bank. You're defending APBA Gold Cup champion. Shane won the Gold Cup as well in 2014 and 2015. Working his final time around. Brad, you with me? Half a lap to go. Brad still away from the microphone as Jimmy Shane works his final time around the 2.72 mile course here in Detroit. Blisters in front of the Detroit Yacht Club. Sets it up. Skid pin water comes up. That pin bolted behind the left sponson and it helps turn the hydroplanes in the corner. Checkered flag is out. He swings it outside. We're going to time on lap 3. That one was slower, 158.868 miles per hour, 158.868 for lap number 3 for the U1 Miss Home Street Bank. So 5 of our 6 unlimited hydroplanes have been on the water for qualifying here at the 2018 Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers APBA Gold Cup, 5:48 on my watch. We have the water until 7 as the fans at the Yacht Club salute Jimmy Shane on that qualifying run here for the Gold Cup. Up next, your current national high point leader, Walnut Lake, Michigan's Andrew Tate in the U9 Delta Real Track. He's up next.
It wasn't Tate that owned the boat dealer, it was Leslie. Whoever owned the boat dealership on East Side. Oh, okay. That's who it was. on who actually owned that
Okay, Jeff, I'm trying to come back into you here a little bit. I heard you talk about the U9 Delta Rail Track and Andrew Tate. The lid is down on that particular boat. And as you alluded, this one is a rocket ship. He starts to move first time. We've had the Delta Rail Track on the race course. Andrew Tate is away, and we'll find out real quick, Jack, if we're going to see our first 160-mile-an-hour lap here on the Detroit River.
Andrew Tate leaving the pit dock. It's the U9 Delta Rail Track. Mentioned Andrew from nearby Wallet Lake, a fourth-generation driver from the Tate family. Of course, his father, Mark Tate, Gold Cup winner here in Detroit, 1991, and the Winston Eagle, 1994 in the Smokin' Joes. Boat owners are Lori and Mike Jones out of Lake Tapps, Washington. The Joneses have their names on the Gold Cup as owners, winners of the 2001 APBA Gold Cup. Their driver, Mike Hansen, and the locally sponsored Tubby's Grilled Subs. Crew chief, a good one, Chief French Jeff Campbell out of Covington, Washington. And of course, Brad, the sponsors, Delta Rail Track, located here in nearby Livonia.
So, we're going to find out real quick here who our top qualifier is going to be through the first round. We know that Jimmy had, what, a 159 and a 158? Well, here comes Andrew's first swing at it. Man, he looks fast, Jeff. He is off the pin, coming down there. Put him on the clock, Andrew Tate, our national high point leader.
He's on the clock, Andrew Tate. Last year's President's Cup winner here in Detroit on Saturday. Looking to get the Tate name on the Gold Cup. As I mentioned, his father, Mark Tate, is on it from 1991 and 1994. Andrew Tate would love nothing more before 5 on Sunday to get this Gold Cup in Detroit. It's a bullet on the water as he works through turn number 1. It did look quick, as Brad mentioned, off the Rooster Tail turn. Brad, he's a half a lap in. Can he get to a $1.60?
We're about to find out here, and where he looked really quick to me, Jeff, was when he went by the yacht club. And basically, then what we're talking about is top end speed. And I'll tell you what, he is moving, and he's got a beautiful boat ride. Hardly any movement on the water. Now he sets it up through the corner. Nice little through the corner, Andrew. This is going to be quick, Jeff.
We'll get a time. Green flag still out. This is lap number 1 of 3 for Andrew Tate. Lap number 1 for Andrew Tate and the U9 Delta Rail Track. 155.214 miles per hour. 155.214 as the overcast conditions continue. That beautiful sight in turn number 1. Detroit to the left, right, Windsor to the left. Brad, we're halfway through this qualifying run. I think there's a lot more left in it.
Yeah, I do too. I actually thought that lap was going to be a little bit quicker, so we'll see if he can improve on that. If we're going to see that first $1.60, he's going to have to squeeze another 5 miles an hour out of it, and that's a bundle. But this boat will up on at that time. Oh, it got away from him a little bit there, Jeff, and he had to float it back down, boom, across Philip 2.
White flag is displayed, and it got the attention of the fans here at the judges stand. They saw it as well. And it's faster, even though he flew it in front of the yacht club. Lap number 2 for Andrew Tate. 158.708 miles per hour. 158.708. As he works through turn number 1, the final time around here in this qualifying run for Walleye Lake, Michigan's Andrew Tate. Brad loose, he flew it in front of you the last time. Can he get to 160?
Hope he can just keep it on the water this time. Sorry, I'm breaking up a little bit on you, Jeff, but here it comes one more time. He had the beautiful boat ride on lap 1, and when he picked up the flag, going in last time. Much better this time. Got to settle it down before he turns. He does. And he's out a little bit wide. I'm not sure if this is going to do it, but bring it home, Jeff. Lap number.
Checkered flag is waving. We'll get a time here on lap number 3 for Andrew Tate. And Brad Luce called it up in the rooster tail turn. He said Andrew fanned out wide and it affected the time. It's still fast but slower. 155.522 miles per hour. 155.522 on lap number 3 for Andrew Tate in U9 Delta Real Track. So Andrew Tate returning to the pit dock and the U9 Delta Real Track as we're approaching 6 p.m. here in Detroit. And the H1 Unlimiteds have the water until 7 p.m. for qualifying for the 2018 Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers APBA Gold Cup.
Does everybody else qualify then?
If anybody wants to improve their time.
And for a fan on the shoreline and watching and listening at home, straight up 6 o'clock here in Detroit, so one more hour of water time. We had our 6 boats go through once, and I expect some of them to go ahead and try again before 7 o'clock here for H1 Unlimited Hydroplane qualifying at the Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers APBA Gold Cup. Don't go anywhere. Stand by. We've got the water until 7. 6:11 on my watch. We have the water until 7. H1 Unlimited qualifying for the Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers APBA Gold Cup, the 2018 edition. Brad Luce is our pit reporter atop the tower in the pit area. And hopefully Brad will get some information. Join us here momentarily to find out how many other boats will take a crack here at qualifying for the APBA Gold Cup. Stand by.
I mean, yeah.
6:22 on the watch. We have the water until 7. H1 Unlimited qualifying. Spoke to Brad earlier. Understand there's quite a bit of activity on the U3. The Rooster Tail, 60 years of parties. The U7 Spirit of Detroit, Tri-Island Energy, Detroit Machinery Center, and the U9 Delta Real Track. So stand by. Appreciate your patience. I'm expecting to see more boats out on the water before we get to 7 o'clock. Your current boat on top and qualifying currently is Jimmy Shane in the U1 Miss Home Street Bank with a 2-lap average speed of 159.394 miles per hour. Have the water until 7. Stand by.
Check, check. 1, 2, 3, check. Hey. Jeff Ayler down here atop the pit tower. I've got some new juice in my microphone here. I think I'm ready to go, and we've got some activity here in the pit area, and I think we are about to have some activity out on the water. As I look down to my left, we have the U3, the Rooster Tail, is in the water. Jimmy King is aboard. They're about ready to close the lid on that one, so we'll have them out here shortly. We also see a sling on the U11. The Reliable Diamond Tool presents J and D's, and I am told that we will have the one out on the water as well. Jimmy Shane's going to come out and pay another visit, and there's some discussion that we may see the 9 back out as well with Andrew Tate.
Always gets frantic at the end of qualifying on Gold Cup Friday.
And I was going to tell you something about the 440. Actually, I wasn't going to tell you anything about the 440 because I couldn't see it and I didn't miss it. And Kelly's standing right in front of me. And then I realized the boat is kind of hidden behind the crane here. So the 440's in the water as well. So activity about to pick up. And as you said, it always seems to be that way. Get to the last half hour, suddenly everybody wants to go for a boat ride. But that's what we're going to do. So lots going on down here, Jeff. And the lid is down on Jimmy King. And our fans will remember that we're here about an hour ago. He came away from the dock. The boat was popping and banging. It didn't sound real good. He made a couple of laps around the GP course and then brought the boat back to the dock. So he's away now. And look to your left, Jeff Ayler, the Rooster Tail, the U3, Jimmy King, the turbocharged Allison-powered bright red hydroplane out of Evansville, Indiana, coming to you from the left.
Sounding good, leaving the pit dock, the dominant red. U3, the Rooster Tail. 60 years of parties. Nearby resident out of Wales, Michigan, Jimmy King in the cockpit. Driving for Ed Cooper out of Posey County, Indiana, just west of Evansville. As Brad mentioned, it's the turbocharged Allison. This one produces about 3,000 horsepower. This craft won the 2003 APBA Gold Cup here in Detroit. The Fox Hills Chrysler Jeep with Mitch Evans in the cockpit. Mitch happens to be here. In the pit area with the vintage blue chip. Brad bringing to the Rooster Tail turn. The Thunder.
And the Thunder's back on the backstretch. You talk about Mitch Evans and that win here in 2003. Finally found his way back. Talked to Mitch just for a second this morning. He was talking about
to thanks goes out to their Tri-City sponsor, Rick's Ace Hardware. King works through the big left-hand sweeper. It's a fan favorite on the circuit, especially here in Detroit. Half a lap in, bring him to you, Ray.
and looking real strong, sounding even better this time. Jimmy King, halfway to the backstretch.
Lap number 1 for Jimmy King. In handing you 3 Rooster Tails, 60 years of parties, 155.675 miles per hour, 155.675 for the turbocharged Allison.
You talk about the Terminator. That just turned a bunch of heads down in the area. Jimmy's coming hard up the back straight. Remember, they have averages 2.
It's Dustin. He is slowed down here on lap number 3. Jimmy King, it's a party of the Rooster Tail, 157.752 miles per hour, 157.752 for the Terminator.
Right, I like it. I like it a lot. He's pulled his foot, not too terribly surprising here. I think he'll take those 2 hot laps, Jeff. And that, as I said in the first lap, and that one again, that turned a bunch of heads. That was awesome. And we mentioned it earlier. We talked about these 2 fast points, the 9, the Delta Wheel Track, the 1, the home street. This guy is a player, Jeff. You mentioned Doug Morris in the 11. I don't know how Doug was after that. He's on his way. Hello, Luke's turning that big left-hand sweeper. I'll say it for you, Jeff.
Dustin Echols out earlier. His top lap was lap number 2 at 139.175 miles per hour. Bucket list racing on his warm-up lap here in Detroit. Well up until 7 o'clock at 6:38. Currently in Detroit. Overcast skies in this qualifying session. As Dustin Echols works the inside straightaway in the 440. The bright orange, the bucket list racing. So we'll see if Dustin Echols maintains his pace working into turn number 1. Bucket list racing, craft owned by Sharon and Kelly Stockland out of Clearview, Washington. They competed here last year at the Gold Cup with Dustin Echols in the seat, works through that big left-hand sweeper, the Belle Isle Bridge turn. Maneuvers nicely through there. Brad for a half a lap in the 440, into 140.
I think that's the question here. They sniffed it and got really, really close in their first run. He's very solid as he approaches the return output. Both sounds good, looks good. Nice line.
The Bucket List Racing, you will love this speed. Lap number 141.625 miles per hour. 141.625 for Dustin Echols in the Bucket List Racing, their fastest lap so far here in qualifying. And Brad, you mentioned it, carved a great turn 2. He kept it close to the pins, and he go above 141.
Yeah, we said he was sniffing 140, so 140 is on since we're here. Now they set their sights on maybe a 143. Bring it up a little bit.
139.300 for Dustin Echols in the Bucket List Racing, and Brad, it appears he has slowed going into turn number 1 here the third time around. And I noticed that little flash of flame in front of the yacht club when he was coming to you the last time around. You can tell he's still going at a pretty good clip, but not near as fast, it appears, as it was on last
Steve, you're doing a fine job.
And 2, but we'll go ahead and keep our eye on Dustin as the bright orange exits turn number 1. Around a half a lap to go here in this session for Dustin Echols.
Yeah, and he's coming slowly up the backstretch there, and we just did some quick math here atop the tower. I think that'll put his average in those 2 laps north of $140. So that is a very positive run for him. And were it not for the little bobble here at the entrance to Rooster Tail turn lap 2, I think we had both laps in the 140 neighborhood. A little bit of an update. What's going on here?
U11 reliable diamond tool presents J&D's Tom Thompson earlier today in qualifying at a lap 1 speed of 147.899. Lap 2 was quicker at 150.308, and lap 3 was the best the first time around at 152.945 miles per hour. Brad, it's the warm-up lap. This boat continues to go on up the ladder here in 2018.
Well, they always seem to. Scott and Shannon Reed built themselves a little boat. It was a much improved race team. This time,
Thompson entering turn number 1. I think they would like to get to the 155 barrier to know they're within reach of the 1, 3, and 9. Critical qualifying session here for the U11. Reliable Diamond 2 presents J&D. Brady worked through turn 1 nicely, bringing in the rooster tail turn.
here he comes. We'll find out if he's able to improve based on what they learned after the first run. As you said, he'd like to get up there in that neighborhood with the youth. You can see that they're holding the
They're gonna like it. It's the quickest so far in this session for Thompson. 154.338 miles per hour. 154.338. Kelvin likes it below. The Rowdies like it. Kelvin is 155 inside. He's pointing at him. Brad loose. Kelvin below us likes this boat. He thinks he can get the 155.
I like Kelvin. I think he's got it figured out. Race fans, this is what the lack of a test session did for us this morning. Nobody got to go out there and put a good combination on
Slower, 153.393 miles per hour, 153.393 for Tom Thompson. Reliable Diamond Tool presents J&D's. Beautifully painted craft working through turn number 1, and they get to 155. Last time around, bring it to the rooster tail turn, Brad.
All right, Tom Thompson, about halfway up that backstretch, is getting right at the yacht club. Now he gets a little dog leg to the left there. He puts the yacht club on his right. Now he's
miles per hour, 153.732. Brad, they did not get to 155, but the 154, I think, will put a smile on their face.
I'm sure it will. It's a step in the right direction, and that's what you're trying to do. You know, we say it all the time at these races. You don't pull out that big trophy until about 5 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, and everything you do is pointed toward that moment in the weekend. So they'll take the improvement every time you run the boat. You learn. Even if the boat goes out and runs slower than it did the time before, you're still learning. You're still learning. So it's always productive. So Tom comes off the lower corner down there. He will come up the backstretch, and I look down below us here, Jeff Ayler. I got 2 boats sitting in the water. One is Home Street Blue, and the other is Real Track White, for lack of a better term. We got our 2 fastest qualifiers here in session
It is so fun to work this race. Brad, you've heard me many times. It's 6:50 on the clock. We have the water at 7. You know, you're trying to get your last chance to get your best speed on it. Just so much to go double. Double for the getting out of this 500. And back in the day, you so it looks like we'll have 2 more boats on the water as we're ticking down the time here for day number 1 of 3 of activity on the Detroit River for the 2018 Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers APBA Gold Cup, and Brady's coming to you, and this one is just flat out fast.
This is going to be interesting. Jeff, I know you've got a lot of statistics there.
Of 163.141 miles per hour. No one yet has been above 160. Time is running out. The Detroit River, the conditions, the best it has been all day on this Friday. Free Friday here at the APBA Gold Cup. Friday looks sharp through turn number 1.
He does look good through corner number 1, halfway up the backstretch. Jimmy Shane. Will we see something north of 160?
Lap number 1 for Jimmy Shane in the Home Street Bank. It's the fastest of the day. 161.482 miles per hour. 161.482. Shane off turn number 1. Brady's halfway through this run. They're serious.
Yeah, they're real serious here. 161. We're sniffing a 163 run for the course record. pick up
It
his speed.
is faster. 162.025 miles per hour. 162.025 for Jimmy Shane in the lightning quick. You won this home street bank. Brad, half a lap to go.
All right, 161 and then a 162. We're looking for that 163.1.
Let's get the line out now. Now we're going to do it.
Look
Nice out there.
It's faster. Not a 163, but how about 162.487 miles per hour? 162.487 for Jimmy Shane in the home street bank. Brad, you made a great call carving him through the rooster tail turn. I thought it was going to be 163, but it's shy of it.
Yeah, but still awfully impressive. And now we're not done. We are not done. And I look over toward the grandstand, Jeff Taylor. Nobody is stepping off those grandstands, and don't do it just yet because Andrew Tate is sitting in the cockpit of the U9 that builds a real track. As soon as Jimmy gets back, we're going to have Andrew on the race board. Jeff, I'm going to step away for just a half a second. The time Andrew's on the water on that.
Thank you, Bradley. Jimmy is the sloop. Of course, mentioned earlier, Angela being around the Tate family. His father, Mark Tate, one of the in 1991 and 1994. Brad loses Matilda. Still away from the and Tate get up to the 160 mark. Brad, I think they would love to try to get to 160, knowing that Shane in the home street's been at 161, 162. He's off the turn. He's coming your way.
He'd definitely like to do that and send a message to Mr. Shane about what he can do and the fact that 163 a year ago was no fluke. Nice one by Jimmy Shane.
lap number 1 speed for the U9 Delta Real Track, 158.546 miles per hour. 158.546 for the U9 Delta Real Track, working through the Belle Isle Bridge turn off the exit pin. Brad, we're halfway through this run. Can they get to 166?
We are about to find out here. He's got to come up a couple of miles per hour. We see typically through the second and third lap. There's a lot of debate about why not. Whatever it is, the best will go.
.727 miles per hour.
This is the last one.
156.727 on lap number 2 for Andrew Tate in the U9 Delta Real Track. Randy works through turn number 1. I want your thoughts. Right in front of you at the yacht club into the turn, it seems like the boat gets out of attitude and doesn't settle well going into the entrance pin.
Yeah, and you're exactly right, Jeff. I'm sure Jeff Campbell standing here to my right is telling me that all these guys not to settle in
Lap speed for Andrew Tate, 158.505 miles per hour, 158.505.
Well, Jeff, you say that almost a little bit disappointed, and I think we were all wondering if we were going to see something north of $160, but you know, when you really stop and think about 158 miles an hour, that's picking them up and laying them down. The boat is clearly a rocket, and I did like his boat ride a whole lot better that time than I did when he ran that first time. There's a lot of photographers, you were talking about them earlier, they've got good pictures. I've seen a bunch of them of Andrew flying literally in front of the yacht club with the whole front end of that boat out of the water, the skin fin completely exposed. He really hung in there for a minute. It could have been ugly. But the driver that he is was able to feather it back down, set the boat up, get through the rooster tail, all in a day's work.